Welcome in, you guys. I've got Don Wiggins with me today. Can we all say hello, give a big hoorah to Don Wiggins? I love it. Hey, Don. How are you?
Hoorah. Whoa, that is like
Hoorah.
an epic welcome.
I've not given anybody a hoorah.
Yay.
So that's a first,
Hoorah.
my friend. Hoorah to that.
I receive.
So, for the few of you out there that may not know who the fabulous Don Wiggins is, she's not
Oh,
only
no,
a
no, no, no.
brilliant here we go. She's not just a brilliant therapist and healer. She's also one of my dear friends. And she has the incredible way of helping women through some of the hardest parts of midlife. She helps with divorce, with menopause, with identity shifts, and while making you feel comfortable, seen, and safe, which I love that. And what I love most about Dawn is her mix of deep clinical expertise and her intuitive wisdom. She pairs it with wit and her grounded presentation, and she just has this amazing gift for getting right back to the heart of what's really going on and helping women come back to themselves. So I love having you here today because I have some things that, well, you and I have been trying to touch base a little
Yes.
bit. I've
Yes.
been running and you've been chasing me like, Andrea, let's get you some help in your home remedy kind of stuff. And so we're going to touch base on that a little bit, but there's so much to talk about because you deal with divorce stuff a lot and healing and grief and all of the things that come along with that. And so I was kind of thinking this week when I was preparing to talk to you, and I was thinking, like, what would I want to know if I was coming out of divorce? Yeah. Like,
Love that.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and I mean,
Mhm.
obviously I did, but that's 7
Yeah.
years ago. So
Yeah, but
I've
that's
healed, I've
right.
grieved.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So all that's already happened. So I'm kind of like, what if I was coming out
Like
of
if we
it
were
right
doing it all over
now?
again. Yeah.
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 What
Mhm,
would that look like today with the mindset that I have today, with the
mhm,
wisdom, what I've
mhm.
learned from growing all these
That's the
years,
key,
right?
right? The wisdom from frickin' lived experience.
That's
Priceless. You
it.
could bottle
That's
that
it.
shit.
Only I would have a shelf full of bottles, 99 bottles of
Yeah,
shit on the wall.
yeah, yeah.
So I would love that. And so I thought we could kind of talk about just like the hidden grief of divorce a little bit and
Mm,
what that looks like, how you get through that. And I also
mhm,
want to kind of talk about how we get rid of the old version of us and we
mhm,
find this new version of us, but
mhm,
what that looks like. And do we actually have to get rid of the old in order to find the new? Or can we love it
excellent,
all?
excellent question.
Mm, mm. So, so
Yeah,
let's start there. Okay. Do
okay.
you think you have to kill off old versions of ourselves to grow, or can we actually just love all of the versions within us?
We must love all of the versions. We cannot kill parts. Every part is essential. Every part gets to stay. We cannot kill parts off.
Mm.
So
Cool.
actually, yeah. So actually, a lot of what I like doing with women is internal family systems work, parts work. Literally, that is like a literal type of psychology that helps
Yeah.
women heal, right, from all the various ages and
Mm.
stages of their life where they've carried burdens or wounds or whatever, right? And in that parts work, this is one of the essential things is actually every freaking part of us needs love. And very often what women struggle so mightily with is we reject so many parts of ourselves. Like maybe we don't like literally like actual physical parts. Like maybe we don't like our ass. Wink, wink, nudge,
Yeah.
nudge.
Nudge, nudge. Wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah, yeah. But like past versions of ourselves that we felt
Yeah.
ashamed of or that are just so wounded, right? That we can't even like tolerate like letting them take up space in our psyche. And we call it
Yeah.
compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
But we actually don't find like have you ever talked to women and they're like, I just want peace. I just want peace. I just
Yes.
want peace. And it seems like we're
Yeah.
like endlessly freaking chasing peace and never
Mhm.
exactly finding it. But that's
Yes.
because we have these parts that we keep ostracizing and
Mhm.
we actually need to bring them in and like love them well and accept them, especially the dark twisty parts. Like, and that
The
is a
dark
Meredith
twisty
Grey,
side.
a Meredith Grey
Grey's
reference, right? The
Anatomy.
dark twisty shit. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So I love that answer because I was thinking that was probably how you'd answer that one. And I was trying to think of my own life. Okay, like when I look back on something that maybe for me was a moment that I would like to have to shed and feel I've grown and I've come
Mhm,
to this new part of my life,
mhm,
it would
mhm,
be if I'm digging deep, I'm like, I was very, very selfish for a
Mm.
very
Mhm,
good
mhm,
portion of
mhm.
my life.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, turn the corner.
And
Mhm.
yeah, and it was like, I just didn't really care what people thought.
Mm,
Not no,
mhm,
wait, I shouldn't say that. I didn't care. No, I never not cared what people thought. I just didn't care what people thought about me maybe doing something selfish. Like, I was just like,
right,
doesn't matter, you know?
right.
Or my time was my own. With my family who lives in Florida, they're a far
Mhm,
distance from me. My
mhm,
mom is
mhm,
now 90,
mhm,
and I'm having to feel like I feel now different than I did back then. Like,
mhm,
it just feels
mhm.
differently.
Okay, since we're having a girl chat though, permission to
Yeah.
speak freely about what I may know and understand
Please.
about you. Okay. So
Okay.
all these parts of us that we have, right, in these seasons and stages of life, they all come as a result of trying to adapt through pain, right? Because
Mhm.
life is hard and it is freaking fraught. And
Yeah.
there are so many different types of wounds that we're going to experience in the course of a lifetime. And so,
Mhm.
knowing that you were like the kid responsible for the other special needs kids, and knowing
Yes.
that your parents leaned on you in a particular way, I would guess
Yes.
that the part of you that was quote unquote selfish, because I believe that every ounce of human behavior has an explanation.
Okay.
I believe that this part of you that was selfish, lots of air quotes here, actually is an
Yeah.
adaptive strategy for you to be able to live, find yourself, and not have to
Yeah.
feel guilty about leaving them quote unquote behind. I don't
Mm.
actually think it was selfish. I think it was survival. Now, that said, I'm not condoning like bad behavior, but we all
Yeah.
do it and it's for a reason. And it's because we're
Yeah.
trying to find some sort of homeostasis or survival
Yeah.
or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
I think it totally makes sense where that came from or how it came about in your particular life because you
Yes.
you were so freaking responsible.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thank you for touching on that. I really don't even talk about that much, about my family and that I'll just say it now. I mean, my sister
Mhm.
and brother are both pretty much disabled. My sister born with tons and tons of physical issues, born scoliosis and had, I don't know, maybe 30 operations by the time she's 8 years old. In
Wow.
and out of the hospital
Wow.
constantly. Still
Yeah.
is, still
Yeah.
is. The
Yeah.
difference in us, I'm 5'9", she's 4'11". Her back
Mhm.
is twisted up, she can hardly
Mhm.
walk, a lot of that.
Mhm.
On top of it, my brother was hit by a car when he was 10 years old and was in a coma for 3 months. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Wow.
talk about stress on my parents, and I remember just kind of being, for lack of better words, flung around, like, "Where can Andrea
100%.
go? What can we do with
Yeah.
her?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't blame them in any way. What were they gonna do? I mean, they're
Sure.
constantly at the
It was their
hospital
own
with them. I
version of
don't blame
survival,
them.
right? Yep.
It was.
Yep.
But I
Yep.
think from that created a little bit of an anxious attachment
Yep.
style, for
Yep.
sure. I
Yep.
get in the whole, "Oh, they're not coming back for me."
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and then, like you said, the selfish, because I feel like I didn't get my time with my parents
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
they got, even though,
Mhm.
and as horrible as that sounds, they got that time because of where they
Mhm.
were and what had happened to them,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? But I felt
Mhm.
like, ugh, I didn't get that time with them, and I still
Mhm.
don't get that time with my mom. My dad already
Mhm.
passed, but my mom
Mhm.
lives with
Mhm.
them at 90 years old. She is
Mhm.
still the caretaker of my
Mhm.
sister and brother, even though they
Mhm.
can fend for
Mhm.
themselves, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But I feel selfish still at times where
Mhm.
I'm like, I would love my mom to come visit me in California, and she
Yeah,
won't.
right? Right? Yeah.
She won't,
Mhm.
because she
Mhm.
can't leave them, right?
Mhm.
So, it's just stuff like that, or her getting to spend time with her grandkids, they didn't get the same thing that my sister's daughter did, kind of from
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
phase, and I hate being that way, but this is actually growth for me to not only recognize it, but I've really worked hard to change the selfishness of myself
Mhm.
and just,
Mhm.
like, try to
Mhm.
be more understanding, less cold. I can be cold-hearted. I know it.
Mhm.
I get that
Mhm.
from my dad.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um so, I'm just thinking, like, I have not completely, going back to what we were talking about, you know, I haven't, like, just thrown that version of me away. It still
Mhm.
rears its ugly head many times where I'm like,
100% because yeah,
yeah,
even that cold-hearted piece, I would say that's not you're not cold-hearted, your dad isn't cold-hearted, but there's a part of you that carries all of those burdens and wounds, and it's freaking heavy, and it's
mm,
dissociative, right? It can disassociate from what it feels, and when we can't
yes.
feel, then we can't empathize, right? So, there are
Uh-huh.
parts of you and him because it's like trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma, right? And so that is good at disassociating so that you don't have to
Yeah,
feel because it's too much pain, right? So let's go and
yeah,
then to like the hidden grief of divorce, this is how it
Yeah.
all ties together, right? In
Mm.
my lived personal experience from my own divorce, and then obviously from helping hundreds of women and the thousands of women that listen to my podcast, right?
Yeah.
When we get divorced, what happens is all of that shit from prior to marriage and then during marriage, right? All of that
Mhm.
shit that we had stuck in a closet and
Mhm.
sort of were looking to marriage to sort of, I don't want to say solve, distract, like recalibrate,
Yeah.
like it's like,
I
I'll
think
just
those
get
are all
married and
great words for it.
yeah, I'll get married, I'll move on, I'll do life, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when we get divorced, it's like all of that shit was still lurking and waiting, and it freaking pops out of the closet like one of those cans with the snakes in it, and it's like, and
Scares
that's the
the shit
hidden
out
grief.
of
Yeah, and
you.
I don't think that any of us were really prepared for that moment when we
Mhm.
got divorced, that all that other shit was gonna come crashing in, and that it's, like, so disorienting because now you're single and your identity is fucked. Am I allowed to say
Yeah.
fuck? Okay.
Say fuck. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and then you have all this shit that you never reconciled that's also
Yeah.
waiting for you. And
Oh, it's
yeah.
like I'm over here.
So you have this part of you that's cold-hearted. Great. Guess what? So do I. Excellent. But
Yeah.
it's not actually part of you. It's
Yeah.
it's the wounds that part of you is carrying on behalf of the rest of you. So that sounds really weird because it makes it sound like we all have
Ooh.
multiple personalities, right? But
Yeah, but say that line again. Say that one
yeah.
more time
Yeah.
'cause
So there are
it's
parts of you because when we scan the brain, here comes this deep clinical wisdom,
I
Andrea.
love when
So,
you get deep.
so when we
I
do
said
a
get deep, not go deep. Go. Go.
so when we do a brain scan, we can see structural changes in the brain as a result of trauma. So we call compartmentalization, oh, I just
Okay.
compartmentalize and I go on. We actually do,
Mhm.
like at a neurobiological level, the brain literally gets compartmentalized, right? And it's like there's these
Mhm.
little walls with these little doors in the brain, right? And so there are parts of us in the mind that hold the pain so that the other parts of us can function apparently normal. And
Mhm.
so then what we talk about is triggers, like, "Oh, I got triggered." So let's say something triggered you and you got all freaking cold-hearted. Well,
Yeah.
whatever that trigger was, it accident like that door where all that pain, like, is stored in your brain, it leaked a little, right? And that part of you ended up literally on the microphone, like, on
Yeah.
the front porch of self, right? And it's like, "Oh, that part of you is in charge right now." So, really, those parts we have the self, right? The capital S self that doesn't get affected by trauma. We could call it the seat of the soul. We could call it our wise
Mm.
mind, right? The self.
Mhm.
And then we have wounded parts, and there are parts that manage this sort of messy system. There are
Mhm.
firefighter parts where when shit gets triggered, they come on scene to try to put the fire out. And then there are the exiled parts that were wounded, like so deeply wounded that carry the pain. And so I know this is probably getting too in the weeds and we should like yank me out because like, Don, what are you talking about? But yeah, all these parts that still carry burdens or still carry strategies to help us cope or survive, they have to be unburdened. And once they're
Okay.
unburdened, which we do through many, many ways, right? Like you talk to so many amazing healers on your podcast, right? Who have found
Yes.
all these ways to unburden parts of them, right? Whether it's
Yes.
yoga or somatics or hypnosis or EMDR or like whatever it is that we have
Mhm.
found to unburden these parts, right? And so as they're unburdened, then that's as we get deeper and deeper into peace and our nervous systems can relax more and more and more. But if these parts aren't
Mhm.
unburdened, then our nervous system remains vigilant and it remains having to contain these parts in their closets. And it's exhausting. And so I
Yeah.
would argue that that women in midlife, especially going through menopause, when they've had all this shit going on in the background, they are particularly fatigued. Their nervous systems are particularly stressed. They've been in fight, flight, freeze, fawn for extended periods of time. And it doesn't need to be like that. But if you don't unburn those parts, it's going to stay like that.
It's just gonna yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like if they're just lingering, all
Mhm.
the time. So to
Mhm.
kind of put that in layman's terms, you're saying yeah, I'm
Yeah.
always like, Dawn, you're
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
brilliant. You're
there
so
was this
brilliant.
episode of SpongeBob. Did anyone watch SpongeBob? There was this one
Just bring
episode
it on down.
where you could see SpongeBob. It was like cut to scene where SpongeBob is inside of his own mind, and there were like these control handles, right? It's like he was operating like big SpongeBob, and his brain was
Yeah.
full of little SpongeBobs, and there were all these filing cabinets, and there were all these little SpongeBobs in his brain. It's like that, right? And then like SpongeBob will be talking to Mr. Krabs, and Mr. Krabs is like, SpongeBob, what have you done? And then he's like, oh, and he's sending a message, and then the other little SpongeBobs are like trying to rip through the files, and they're like trying to find a piece of paper, and this one's like lighting shit
Yeah.
on fire, and this one's over here like it's like that.
It's like that.
It's
Oh
like
my
that.
God, I have a whole bunch of little SpongeBobs up in my head. And so I guess they just kind of sit there until they just kind of seep in every now and then. And that's when you get
Correct.
that little trigger, right? You just
Correct.
kind
And then
of,
a different SpongeBob takes the control panel, right? And I think
yeah.
many of us feel like, oh, like if we really think about it, right? Like one part of me wants to eat the cookie and one part of me wants to lose weight and one part of me
Mhm.
understands that we need to be loving and compassionate and one part of me wants to fucking claw his eyes out. And it's like we
Yes.
can really sort of sense these different parts of us, and that's
Yeah.
because it's real. Yeah.
Wow. So where's the happy medium there? Like, where can you allow little bits to come in, but still feel like yourself and not totally let them take over? Is there
I think
such
that's
a thing?
really, really tricky if you haven't done some unburdening, right?
Yeah.
Because yeah, I think it's tricky. And so
Yeah.
when you do really, really good therapy, like what I mean by that is when you can feel feelings and you can sit and you can
Hmm.
feel and someone witnesses it.
Hmm.
Which I think like you and I have witnessed a lot with our little girl gang we have
Yes.
going, right? And so when you
Yeah.
can really sit and let someone witness you in your pain, that's some unburdening, right?
Hmm.
When people
Hmm.
say they go to yoga and then they were doing some posture and then all of a sudden they were crying, or getting a massage and all
Yeah.
of a sudden they were crying, right? There's like little bits of unburdening. When people do EMDR or like brain spotting
Oh,
and things unburden, and then those walls kind of soften and yeah, you can let them in. I think
you
that the goal,
can.
like when I was getting divorced, I was going to
Yeah.
Al-Anon, all these personal development workshops. Have you ever done a personal development workshop, like a landmark forum or like a, I don't know. I was doing this one called
Mm.
the personal development course. And we would go and we would do anger and we would do sadness. And it was like they would say
Mhm.
something intentionally to trigger you. And you would like actually do anger where you would like push people and you would like use bats and you would like,
Ooh,
yeah, like do these.
like those places you can go and just crush stuff and
Yes.
hit it and do all that, get your anger out. Yeah.
Yes, but, like, with some clinical supervision, right, or, like, clinical
Yeah,
support and
control.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But, like, yeah, where you can really, and for women, I think this is really, really valuable, where you can release that stuff, you can literally unburden it,
Mm.
right? So, I love teaching women somatics, because we have so much rage inside of us, like, so much rage
Mhm.
inside of us. Like, I guarantee
Yeah.
you little you has so much rage about this flung about. And it comes out, right? It gets triggered in like traffic, or it gets triggered like in your
Mhm.
divorce, or it gets triggered like when your kid won't put its fucking shoes on, or I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever, right? And
Yeah,
then
when you least expect it
yeah.
sometimes. It just kinda
Yes.
comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Wow. So what was it like? Can we talk about your, like, your divorce that you went through and kind of
Yeah.
how, yeah, can we talk a
I
little bit about that?
I don't know that mine is like super typical, but yeah, let's do
Oh,
it.
okay. Okay, so do you wanna kinda give us just a little back history? Like, how long were you married?
Yeah. I was married
When,
about
why,
10
what?
years. Yeah, I was married
Okay.
about 10 years and we didn't have kids. And that's why I'm saying I don't know that it
Oh,
was like super typical, right? And actually the
yeah.
divorce rates are highest for people in their 20s. But
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that
I
is
think
in the
it's because
people in
there's
their
less risk to
20s?
get out. Yeah, I think there's, like, less risk, and it's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
shit, I made a choice," or whatever, right? But the
yeah.
divorce rates do go down for a period of time, and then they rise again, like, in midlife, like, around
Okay.
menopause.
Ah, amazing. Hmm.
Yeah. So, I think that both my ex and I had various, like, severe traumas and attachment style issues, right? And I think we both
Mm,
subconsciously saw this marriage as a solution to our problems, right?
mm,
And neither of us had done any meaningful, like, recovery from any sort of childhood trauma. And, like, it was sort of destined to fail. He was
yeah.
an alcoholic and a sex addict, and I was, like, traumatized on
Not
every level and highly dissociative and, um, couldn't feel to unburden my parts, right? That was my struggle with a lot of
mm,
these beautiful modalities and therapies that I do with people and, teach. I was so
yeah.
disassociated that I couldn't feel to unburden. That's a whole nother journey and why I get
Mm.
so passionate about homeopathy. But so, it was cray-cray, right? Like, he drank way too much, all the like, like, crashing his car and d like, all the things, and there
Oh
was
my
some
gosh.
domestic violence, and, it was really hard, and the sex addiction
Oh,
piece was really, really hard, and,
yeah.
but I was really raised and at the time was really, really, really steeped in religion. And that was
Okay.
also part of our marriage and part of our divorce is because I eventually didn't wanna convert to Catholicism, and I was headed more in, like, a non-denominational, like, exploratory path, and that was really
Mhm.
problematic, but when I got divorced, it was like that was, like, a big sin in the eyes of my family and his family and
Mm.
whatever, right? And
Mhm.
because I hadn't worked through all of that and I didn't know who I was, truly, I did not know who I
Mhm.
was,
How old were you?
30,
Okay.
um I got divorced and it really, really triggered my mom to stop speaking to me. And I'm an only
Really?
child. I know. So here I am choosing to get divorced. I'm diagnosed with cluster headaches, which is terrible. They're AKA
Oh,
suicide
yeah.
headaches.
Yeah,
And
I've heard that.
I'm so sick and single now and with no real significant family support and like sinning in the eyes of my family.
Mhm.
And so I think at that moment, what really worked for me, because then all the trauma came flooding in, right? And I ended up
Mhm.
hooking up with somebody and like getting into a
Mhm.
relationship immediately because of that anxious attachment style. I could not
Yep.
tolerate being single. And I think at that point, it felt like I had nothing to lose anymore,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
so I dove so headfirst into all these types of healing modalities that I think I would have been afraid subconsciously were also sins, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know, does that make
Yeah.
any sense? So,
Yeah, totally.
I started doing yoga and which like in many Christian denominations are like, "Yoga is from the devil," like, which is insane, but there I was,
Yeah.
right? And, got a Jewish sponsor in Al-Anon, you know what I mean? Like, I just pushed all the boundaries
Just
of what I,
everywhere.
like, had historically known to be true, and then what I think I came to was like, "Oh, there are some real spiritual principles in the world, and there are some real laws of the universe, and if you're
Yeah.
living in alignment with those, and you're
Yeah.
pursuing, like, integration and wellness and those spiritual principles, like, you're gonna get where you wanna go," and sort of
Yeah.
totally revamped, right, how I saw myself and the world and God and all the things, and, little by slow, got better and have built a pretty remarkable life. Because, like, look here, I'm friends with you
Wow.
now.
I know, that's pretty fucking remarkable. Just saying.
Just
Oh,
saying.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
And
So I
now
have some.
wait, this is the best part of the story.
Yes.
So now his
Yes.
second ex-wife, his second, because we both got
Oh,
remarried, right? So
okay.
and we were both I had been diagnosed infertile, so this is super fun. I had been
Yeah.
diagnosed infertile, and so he got remarried, like, right away to someone 10 years
Yeah.
younger than him. He remarried somebody who was, like, 20,
Oh
and he
my
was,
god.
like, 30 something, and it took me a
Okay.
couple years to get remarried, but we got pregnant with Grace, and then it was like God was, like, tapping me on the head and was like, "No, marry this guy."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, but when my ex got remarried, he quick banged out 4 kids, and, they just got divorced this year,
Oh my
just this year,
gosh.
and his
Wow.
second ex-wife and I are
Yeah.
now
Friends.
buddies, and we chat, and listen, it was
Oh.
wild the first couple times we talked because there's a darkness in him, right, that ended up,
Yeah.
like, just deeply affecting all of us so
Yeah.
much, but, um yeah,
Who
so,
reached
like,
out
I made
first
the
on
right
that
call.
one? She
She followed me on Instagram, and my
Uh-huh.
bestie, who, like, has been
Uh-huh.
stalking her all these years, right, was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
she's asking you to connect," right? And so I
Yeah.
sent her a DM, and I
Yeah.
just said, "Hi, other me."
Oh, yeah, you did. I
Yeah,
love
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Like,
Wow.
made
So
the
how
right
long Yeah. So how long were you with him before you got married?
I don't know, like a year or 2? Like,
Okay.
yeah,
So
I
there
mean,
was a little
we
foundation
were
there,
really young.
but
We were really, really
yeah,
young. Yeah.
yeah. And do you think, you talked about having issues with sex, that he was a big sex addict, and
Mhm.
sometimes that is so far to one side of the spectrum, right, compared to where you were maybe normal, but it didn't seem normal because he was such an addict? Or were
Mhm.
you just at the complete opposite end of like,
I
just
think
wasn't
I
into
ended
sex at
up
all.
I think there were multiple things, right? Because of the trauma, I think that I had so much metabolic dysfunction, and by the time I was diagnosed with cluster headaches, like, that really steals like, libido can't live typically in that level of metabolic distress or, like, nervous system
Mm,
dysfunction, right? Libido doesn't live there.
mhm.
Like, women spread their legs wide when they feel relaxed and at ease and,
Yes.
all of that, and there just wasn't a lot of that in my life.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, like, there is a wild side to me, like, wet t-shirt
Uh-huh.
contest in
I
college and all
know.
the things, right? So, like, I have the capacity, but that wasn't
Yeah.
how we were living, right? And,
Yeah.
I think by the time I really understood the depths of the sexual dysfunction, I think I was, like, completely shut down.
Mm.
Yeah, it was hard.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's interesting how we adapt to our environment in that way, like you saying, I was infertile,
Mhm,
and then you have a child. So,
mhm.
you were
Yeah,
infertile for him,
yeah, 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 yeah.
not right, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Or, I go ahead.
Well, and I think that when I got with my now husband, his I do think that there is a design where even though like boss babe culture is taken over and I am such a boss babe, right? I think it's
Mhm.
often to
Yes.
my detriment and I think it's often to our detriment as women because
Right.
we are supposed to live in a rhythm and we aren't supposed to
Mhm.
go hard 365 days a year. We are supposed to rest more than men. Like we're built our
Mhm.
hormonal cycles are built for that, right?
Mhm.
But when I met my husband, now husband, he
Mhm.
really has this approach about wanting to protect me and
Mhm.
wanting to make sure that I am well cared for. And I think that was such a
Mm.
different thing than I had ever experienced in my life, period, like
Mhm.
full stop.
Mhm.
That yes, there was a
Mhm.
level of safety I was able to feel in those early months of our relationship that, yeah, facilitated fertility. Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
Safety. It's amazing
Safety.
what the female body can do when it feels safe.
Right? Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild.
Yeah.
And I say this all the time because I think just going through my marriage that I was married for 20 years, and for a lot of that
Mm,
time, I just
mhm,
I wasn't present, I wasn't there, I
mhm,
wasn't attracted to him, not that he's not
mhm,
attractive, it just wasn't there for me, it was more like
mhm.
a best friends, right?
Friendship. Mhm.
And yeah, and I just said that to someone the other day, I go, "He would not even recognize me sexually at this
Right.
point."
Right.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we talk on our other show about, like, our sexual desires and all of these things, and
Yeah.
we just kinda right? We kinda let it
Yeah.
out, but if anybody knew me back in the
Back
days when I
then,
was
they
married with
wouldn't
him,
guess.
it
Yeah.
was no, it was missionary style only, it was like, I didn't wanna touch anything, he'd be like, "Will you like, what do you fantasize about?" And I'm just like, shush,
Me.
I'm concentrating."
Mhm.
Yeah, I would try I'm concentrating. Don't
Yeah.
talk to me right now. It was every which way to just, you know, get him to stay back. And
Yeah.
so,
I relate to that.
it's interesting how you change and as you grow. That is one version of me I do want to leave in the past
In the
that
past
had no
I
sexual
know, but
desire.
he was
Yeah.
like that for a reason, right? And it was a protection. My ex used to
Yeah.
say to me, well, first of all, he used to quote scripture at me to try to get me to fuck him. So,
Holy
there's that,
shit.
right? We don't like that. Um, but what
Yeah.
was that show with Wisteria Lane? What was that?
Oh, Desperate Housewives.
Desperate Housewives. There was one of them that was sort of type A, and there was
Yeah.
this scene once where they were trying to have sex or whatever, and there was a burrito
Yeah.
on the nightstand, and the burrito was, like, dripping off the nightstand or something, and all she could concentrate on was, like, wanting to catch the burrito, and he would, like, refer to me as her, and he was always like
He's like,
anyways,
he's
and he
catching the
wasn't
burrito.
wrong, right? Because I was
Right.
so hyper vigilant in life. Yeah, that was my MO,
Yeah.
right? How can you feel
Yeah.
sexy? Yeah.
Huh.
My
Yeah.
ex can I say, like this is how sex addiction showed up in our lives. It was so weird, but he
Yeah.
was obsessed with the size of his penis, and he would measure it multiple times a day. It was so bizarre. Like, he would wake up
I'm
in the
in
morning,
shock on that.
he would go to sleep and measure it. He was measuring it all day long.
Really?
Yeah.
It
It's
that
not
is
very sexy. It's not
un
very sexy.
not very sexy.
But he thought it was
And
hot.
it's I know. Was that what he was doing? Was he thinking it was turning you on when he was doing that?
No, I think
Or
it
was it
was
in private?
obsessive.
It
No,
was
it was
just his own
incredibly obsessive. Yeah, yeah. It's actually really,
Wow.
really sad, right?
It's really sad. It's
Mhm.
really sad.
Like,
Oh,
like, his sense of identity was completely enmeshed in literally the size of his dick, and if it was, like, a fraction of a millimeter or whatever, not as big this day than that day, like, it affected him. It was
It's like us weighing ourselves on a scale.
Probably, right? Something like that,
When
right?
we're in that weird phase, yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you hope it changes throughout the day, it
yeah,
fluctuates.
yeah.
Just water weight in that penis of yours.
Exactly, exactly, literally, like, "How is
Yeah,
your
he peed.
circulation today?" Yeah, 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 yeah.
Wow, that's wild. That is wild. Did he have a big dick?
It was pretty big.
That's awesome.
Which I
She's
don't
like,
really love, right? Like, I don't really, like,
"I
you know.
don't
Yeah,
either."
yeah, 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 like, I don't mind, I'm not advocating for micro penises or whatever, but, like, so big is, like, so big, you know?
So big. I dated one guy. I I dated this one guy, and he was the greatest guy. Still, my girlfriends will go anytime I'm
The one
like,
that got
"Oh, I
away?
just wish I could find." Yeah, they're like they'll say his name, I'm not even gonna say it. They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Bob,
yeah,
we want Bob to come
yeah,
back."
yeah,
And I'm like, yeah, there were so many amazing things about him, just the best guy, like, emotionally, and, like, he was just there for you, and just he was incredible, incredible. The type that showed up during COVID at my place, he didn't care. I had COVID. He'd have a mask on and a donut, and he would just sit on the
that's what
couch,
I'm
like, his
right,
little
I
feet
want
away.
Bob to come back too, bring Bob
Where's
back. Okay, but his
Bob?
dick
Bring
was too
Bob back.
big? Bob's dick
His
was too big?
dick was massive.
Yeah,
It was ridiculous, and
yeah.
I didn't really totally notice it until, like, I mean, I noticed it, but of course, but one morning I remember waking up and he's, like, standing there he doesn't
Yeah,
see me, he's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
sideways, and he's
Yeah.
got morning wood, and I'm like, "Holy shit, look at that thing." Like, it was like it should have been
A
on
little scary.
display.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I
Where
just
am I gonna
can't.
put that? Yeah.
Where am I gonna put that?
Like,
I mean,
yeah,
there's no way
yeah,
that's
yeah,
going in me. I mean, it's just like,
yeah,
what do you do with that? And I
yeah.
feel for him because
Yes,
that probably
100%.
sucks,
It so much
right?
has affected his sense of self and his
Yeah,
yeah.
and so many guys think that that's what women want.
Can we also talk about the men who, like, do the boob poking? That's my own husband. Or the
Eh, eh.
butt poking, like, we should put on a workshop once for men to
Yes,
teach them, like, how to actually, like, come on to their wives
yes,
or whatever, their
yes.
sexual
I
partners.
find the most subtlest things the sexiest thing, and I just
Mhm.
said this the other day. There's a guy that I've been, we'll use air quotes, hanging out with,
Hanging out.
and hanging out with,
Mhm.
and I actually said to Michael, "You know what my favorite thing about us is?" And he's like, "That we just laugh all the time." And I was like, "Well, yeah, that too." But my favorite thing is no matter where we're walking past each other, if we pass each other, there's a
A
graze
brush.
on the hip,
Yeah. Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
brush on the shoulder,
Yeah,
a kiss on the forehead.
yeah.
Those things are
I am
priceless.
so turned on by a kiss on the forehead, a kiss on the shoulder, a kiss
Oh,
on the
it's
neck,
hot.
like, especially the
The
neck, like, bring me the
shoulder for
neck.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And especially when it's unsolicited, right? You might just be
Yeah.
sitting there watching TV and, he might
Mhm.
just give me a kiss on the shoulder. And
Mm.
I'm like, "Mm,
Mm. Yeah,
so good."
yeah.
Because I dated a guy for like 2 years and his biggest thing, physical touch was at the bottom of his love language list.
Mm.
And he would go past me in the kitchen. It could be in the smallest crawl space in a pantry. And he is squeezing by, not touching me like I've got the
Wow.
plague.
Who
Yes.
wounded him?
Yes, yes, exactly. There was somebody did.
Yeah.
Somebody did.
No, really,
Yeah, so
'cause typically there is a direct correlation to our love language and our
ah,
woundedness pattern, right? Like
really?
mhm. Like,
Ooh,
I really do well with words of affirmation, but that's
yeah,
because so
you
many of
did.
the people closest to me told me what I was doing wrong all the time. So
Oh,
right,
yeah.
it's like
So that's
usually the
nice.
thing we crave is the thing that was missing. Mhm.
Mm,
And then, like,
yep,
God's cruel joke is that, like, we actually attract people who do the same shit our parents did.
same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Who thought of that one?
Yeah,
You
I
you
know,
attract what you put out.
because
Okay,
we're
that's
supposed
great.
to transmute it. Bah.
So do you think it's harder to let go of someone or let go of an old version of you? Which
To
one's
let
harder?
go of someone or an old version of you?
Mhm.
Oh, man, I think they go hand in hand. I think one happens
Mm,
via the other, right? Like, one happens
true.
via the other. I actually think that, like, all of this shit we call healing in all
Yeah.
my deep clinical wisdom. If you, like, boiled it down, like,
Yeah.
like, psych strategies, right, comes down to self-acceptance, and so if you can love all those little SpongeBobs within, like, truly
Yeah.
love them and not just, like, fake
Tolerate them.
I don't know. Yes, or like, well, I only love them if they have Botox, or I only love them if they you know what I mean? Because that's really how we treat ourselves as
Yes.
women, right?
Yes.
And so then I think we could sort of let go of anything because 'cause we're holding on to ourselves, right? But, like, I
Mm.
don't think most of us know how to choose ourselves. I think we are desperate to be chosen. We don't know how to choose ourselves, and so then
Yes.
we hold
Yes.
on to anyone that gives us the attention that we crave because we genuinely don't know how to give it to ourselves and for it to feel satiating, right? We don't know.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sad.
I
Sad,
know.
isn't it?
That's my
Hmm.
mission. That's my mission is
Yeah.
yes, help
Wait, so I
women
didn't
choose
hear
themselves.
about your husband now. So you but I was reading a little bit about Don Wiggins to make sure I knew my friend the way
Yeah,
I should know my
yeah.
friend. Okay, so he was like you'd known him for a
Oh my
long
goodness. This is, like,
time.
really, really fascinating. Yes. So, like, yes, I knew him for a long time. We met
Mm.
like, sort of met in high school, but then, like, one day this is, like, a funny little story. My ride or die, Ashley,
Mhm. Mhm.
she was dating, like she was hanging out with my now husband's
Thank you.
friend, and,
Okay.
um, and so she was like, "Ride with me to this guy's house," right? So, I rode with her in her silver Honda Civic to this guy's house,
Oof.
and, this was in the Florida Keys, which is like
Uh-huh.
it's like but this is like in the '80s and '90s. It's a different time, you know what I mean? Like, it's a different
Yeah.
time in the Florida
Yeah.
Keys. If anybody's ever been there, like, this is, like, different, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so he lives in a trailer, and he's, like, built on
Ooh,
an addition to
uh,
his trailer, and he has iguanas in a cage outside of his trailer. Like, this is how this is going, right? And we
yeah.
walk in, and mostly the room is a waterbed, and these 2 guys are hanging out. Like, it's weird, right? And so I just, like, hopped on his bed and I was like, "Hi, I'm Dawn." And if you
I
ask
can
my
so see you
husband,
as a
like,
young
when
girl.
he fell in love with me, he's like, "That
Is
that
that moment?
that moment." Like, and that was it. It was
Dawn!
like have you ever seen in the movie Twilight, like, how a wolf imprints on a vampire or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck it is, right?
Yeah.
It's like he
Yeah.
imprinted on me in that moment, and literally for the rest of our adult lives, if I moved somewhere, he moved there within 6 months. It's
What?
so bizarre. Like, I
And he
moved
did
to
it
Tampa, he
intentionally,
moved
or
to
it was
Tampa, I
just
moved to I don't think no. No. It's like he imprinted on me and it just happened to go like
it
that.
just
And
happened?
so I invited him to my wedding. And now all the stories come in the back end, right? And he was on the
Yeah.
phone with his mom that day and he was like, "I don't know if I could go, mom." And he's like kind of tearing up and she's like, "So don't go." Like I think his mom was like, "That bitch is like a bitch." Like
Yeah. How
don't
rude of her to
go.
invite you to her wedding.
She did not choose my son, right?
Yeah.
He had a
Yeah.
unibrow and he would wear this, anyways. And so I had all
Anyway.
these reasons why I didn't like him. And,
But you didn't date or anything at
we
this
didn't
because
date,
you were
no,
with
but we
your
stayed
yeah.
friends all the time. And he was always the guy who was gonna help me do whatever. Like he was always we were
Yeah.
I don't know, we just were good friends, right? But he loved me. And I'm sure that attention, because I knew he loved me. And I'm sure that attention, that steady attention from him was something I needed, wanted, craved, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he came to my first wedding and him and my dad were standing at the bar and oh, wait, let's go back actually.
Hmm.
If you wanna know that my marriage was doomed.
Yes.
After I was engaged, but before I got married, I was working for the Department of Children and Families and I was doing child abuse investigations and removals. And one night there
Ooh.
was a murder suicide and I had to remove the kids and it was
Oh.
horrible, right? And so I
Oh,
called
yeah.
my people and I was like, "Let's go get drunk." That's a great idea, right? And I
Yeah.
don't remember this, but in a blackout that night in this very stressful period, he and I made a pact. This is what they tell us that if we were whatever age and we weren't married, we would get married. I was engaged when
Wow.
I made that pact. So then he comes to my
Wow.
wedding and my dad says to him, "Buddy, I'm really sorry. It should have been you." Now, I didn't know, I didn't remember the pact. I didn't know the thing that my dad said to him. I didn't know any of that. And so
Dad.
I just went about my life and, moved about the cabin. But then sure enough, like, when I got divorced, like, he was the guy who would like change the light fixture, do whatever. I don't know. We would meet for dinner or whatever. And no, I've never
Yeah.
even kissed this guy. Like never.
Oh my god.
No. And
This is such a great love story.
I don't know. And then at some point, like I just kept trying to friend zone him, and at some point, he got the balls to say, like, "Enough, enough with
Yeah.
the friend zone." That if I'm really
Mm.
honest,
Mm.
we had dinner plans one night, and I think at this point, though, we had sex and all the things, right? But we had dinner plans one
Okay.
night, and I was trying to friend zone him again, and,
After the sex?
I don't
You
remember the
dirty
order of
dog.
operations there. I don't remember if it was before or after, I don't know. But I was trying to friend zone him again, and then he no-showed, no-called our dinner plans. And, like,
As he should.
if you're following this story, though, he's never going to make that choice, right? Like, he's never
Yes.
gonna no-show, no-call dinner plans with me, like, that was just
Oh,
not on the menu, right?
not
And so,
yeah.
come to find out he was in jail.
So it wasn't
Crazy,
even
right?
intentional. Oh,
So
shit happened why it was a no-show. Okay.
friend reaches out and says, like, "Don't freak out, but Brian's in jail." And I was like, "What?"
What?
Anyways, it was
For
on this
what?
old warrant from, like, 10 years prior that was, like, a trespassing warrant from when we were, like, literally
Yeah.
teenagers in the woods, like, lighting bonfire, like, harmless, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he had lit some pallets on fire, like, just we hung out in the woods, right? Back to the trailer and all the things. And so four-wheeling and mudding and all this stuff from when we were teenagers in our early 20s. And it was, like, some warrant that he had resolved back then, but, like, FWC and I don't know, whatever, like, merged their systems and there was an error, and they literally picked him up the same day the warrant got issued. It was a total error, complete and total
Oh
error.
my god.
They put him in jail. And in that moment, Andrea, wouldn't you know that all of a sudden my brain was like, "I'm gonna date him."
Wow. So their error changed the course of your life
But
forever.
it's that whole bad boy thing, right? It's that whole thing about, like,
Yes!
easy love, someone who wanted me,
Yes!
I couldn't tolerate. Someone
Yes.
who was naughty and bad and, like,
Yeah.
like,
You're like,
that was
"Hello."
familiar to my nervous system. And so then it took us years really of marriage to work through all of the trauma stuff,
Yeah.
and it was hard, right? But we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. How long
I
you
know
been
that was
married now?
like 11 years?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
That's
It's
a
like
great
an
story.
episode of Jerry Springer, right?
I know. I love it. I love Jerry Springer. I'm like, "Where's the girl coming in with a swat of your hair going, 'He was mine, bitch. Where's that girl?'"
Oh, bless.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that is so, so good.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's exciting. That's a good story. Alright, I'm gonna get us back on because I had more questions for you. I'm reeling us back in. I love
Reeling us
hearing
back
these
in.
stories. I know, but I love hearing these stories, but I wanna touch base on this because I think this is a really great topic to discuss, and I wanna get it in,
Mm.
because we've talked
Get
a
it
lot
in.
about I
It's
wanna
not
get it
too
in,
big.
I
Get
gotta
it
get
in.
it in. It's yes, this is a big one, but I'm gonna get it in.
Ah.
So we talk a lot about fixing yourself and all
Mm.
of the remedies and all
Mhm.
of the things that we can
Mhm.
do.
Mhm.
So I'm asking you this question, even though I know you're going to come out with some remedies, and you do, and I know I joke you about it, but I welcome anything you want to share with me. But when is enough enough? I guess would be my question. Are we on this constant cycle of fixing ourselves, and when do we get off that train?
Yeah. So I feel pretty passionately about what I'm gonna say next.
Thank you. Here we go, folks.
Okay.
Listen up.
I think most people do not
Hmm.
have a healthy relationship
Hmm.
with honesty.
Mm.
And our friend Lori would agree with me.
Mm.
um,
She's not
um,
the person you're talking about. You're just talking
no,
with.
no, no. Like
Is
she's
that
a strong advocate for honesty, right? Like everything
Yes.
she talks about, yeah, is built on a foundation. So I think most of us are not willing to be honest with ourselves, truly honest with ourselves, right?
Yeah.
About
It's
what we
hard.
want because our lives are the evidence of what we want most,
Mm.
right? So our choices reveal what we want most. So we say like I want to have money or I want to have love or I want to be skinny or I want to be whatever the fuck we say. And then we don't
Mhm.
make those choices. We make these other choices that tend to be in the realm of addiction, right? Whether it's addiction
Right.
to like how we look or shopping or whatever, or
Mhm.
like, I don't know, whatever the
Edibles.
fuck things, right? Whatever the fuck things we're addicted to, and
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
approval and validation and all this shit, right? And that really
Mhm.
tends to be the choices we make. And so I think a lot of what people call healing, air quotes healing, is actually buying supplements from Instagram and
Mhm.
reading books, which I've heard somebody else refer to as shelf esteem. And
Ooh, that's a good one.
and that's not actually healing and that's not actually wellness, because healing and
Okay.
wellness comes from really getting very honest with yourself and pursuing
Mhm.
alignment and,
Mhm.
really kind of coming at life from where what I think, what I feel, what I say, and what I do are in alignment, right? They're at least
Mhm.
relatively speaking. And
Yeah.
so for me, and I recognize that for me, the reason I continued to pursue healing so fiercely, Andrea, is not
Yeah.
because I am some pious fucking like do-gooder. It's because I
Yeah.
had cluster headaches and they wouldn't go away.
Mm.
And I took so many pharmaceuticals over the years that I have kidney and heart damage, like pretty
Oh,
significant kidney damage and heart damage. And so
yeah.
it was like I had to pursue healing or I was going to literally die at a very young
Die.
age. And so I really think that's why I have the perspective that I do. It's not because
Yeah.
like I'm so like I don't know what other word to use here other than pious, right?
Right.
So I was constantly looking for the next thing because I was in so much pain and I was suffering and I have a daughter and I need to live.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I did all the things, the acupuncture, the EMDR, the past life regression hypnosis, the functional medicine, the hormone replacement therapy, the mushrooms, the literally psilocybin mushrooms and the adaptogenic ones.
Uh,
Like
she's like, "You name it, I've done it."
you name it, I have done it. And and I did get like marginally better here or there, but not enough um
Mm.
to really recover, right? My
Yeah.
attachment style or the headaches or right, my kidneys or like to be able to come off the meds enough to be able to rehab my kidneys or my heart. And so about 5 years ago, I stumbled into homeopathy and I think it's part of my human design for all my human design nerds out there. That I just sort of recognize like part of my design is life's information keeper. And so there's that
Mhm.
wisdom, that clinical
Mhm.
wisdom that I have.
Mhm.
Like I love learning and I gather information and, Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
Or Bob's your
Yeah.
ex-boyfriend that we want to come back.
My yeah. You retain it.
Yeah.
Come on, Bob.
Right. And so homeopathy, it just clicked for me and it's energy medicine. People think that like naturopathic medicine or like herbs or whatever are homeopathy, but no, homeopathy is frequency medicine where they
Uh-huh.
take just things from nature, plants, animals, minerals, whatever, and they dilute it so far that all that's left is the energy signature. And right there, I've already lost
Mm.
people. Like, what do you mean? But
Mhm.
we have come to understand at a quantum level, like everything is vibration, like that tree out there has a
Right.
vibration. You have a vibration, like this baloney has everything has a literal vibration to it. We see that in
Have you
music
eaten
and various
bologna?
things. No, never. I would never. Why did that pop into my head? I don't know.
I know.
And
That's the
so,
weirdest thing I've ever heard. Go on.
and
No, bologna.
so,
Go on.
so homeopathy works with vibrations. And
Mhm.
it's the idea that the curse is the cure. So if you got bit by a snake, the antivenom would be made of the venom, right? And so it's like in homeopathy, we identify what are the vibrations inside of me that are causing disease. And I find that matching disease or that matching vibration in nature. And then I take
Clear
this
back in.
frequency into my body and it stimulates my vital force and my body heals itself. And that's the end of like, that is the belief system that I come from is the body knows how to heal itself, Andrea. And anywhere
Yeah.
we have chronic symptoms, and this is really the crux of it, where we have chronic anxiety, chronic depression, perimenopause in 30s, chronic hemorrhoids or constipation or chronic bacterial vaginosis or chronic UTIs or chronic skin problems, chronic eczema, name any of these things. Anything that is chronic or reoccurring means that there is a energetic block in your body and your vital force is depleted. And so homeopathy is this thing that just comes in. It doesn't cure or treat or heal anything. All it does is remove the blocks from your vital force so the body can do what it is already designed and knows how to do. And so
Mm.
your original question is like, when is enough enough? Well, for me, it's when I've removed as many of those blocks as I can so that I can be as
Mhm.
vibrant as I can and have as much capacity as I can to live the life that I freaking want to live, which is
Mm.
big and magical and full of huge dreams and
Yeah.
goals and aspirations and things, right? And so
Jets.
jets and babies at 45. And so for me, I think I really believe that there are a lot of ways to get well, but I've never seen anything go as deep as homeopathy. I think
Mm,
that too many of us have been sold a crock of shit that all these chronic symptoms we just have to live with, Andrea, and it actually
yeah,
makes me angry that women
yeah,
have come to accept that so many of these chronic symptoms we just have to live with. I think we have more health anxiety than we've ever had because we're cut off from our healers. How hard is it to get on the phone with a doctor these days? And then you
yes,
watch TV and you watch a commercial for an antidepressant to add on top of your antidepressant. And
yeah.
PS, the side effects for your bonus antidepressant are that you're gonna be paralyzed, but don't worry, you might not be depressed. What?
Okay.
Like, what?
Yeah,
And so
what?
I'm not anti any of this because I opened my
Yeah.
own podcast, Dear Divorce Diary, the other day with like, I would just like everybody to know that for breakfast, I had duck donuts and a goodies powder. Like
So you're still living.
yes, yes,
Yes.
and, homeopathy isn't everything, but it's a lot, and if you have a
Yeah,
craonic symptom that you're tired of, there's a remedy for that, period.
yeah, I do,
Yeah.
I do. I have a shoulder issue that
I
we've talked about.
crazy story. Yeah, did I tell you the story that day when you talked about the shoulder
No.
issue? No, okay. So, my dear friend, Brittany Gardner, she does my web design and she does my social media, and she painted this painting that's behind me. It's an abstract painting.
Ooh,
She
nice.
owns a flower farm and she's
Mm,
totally multi-hyphenate, right? She had this
yeah.
frozen shoulder and they told her it was menopause, and she was, like, weeks she had done everything, injections, physical therapy, like, you name it, she had done everything for this frozen shoulder.
Mhm.
And she was weeks away from having to have surgery, and I was frantically trying to find the right remedy, and I was trying all these really, like, you would think that works, you would think that works, and then one day she mentioned something random on her Instagram stories, and all of a sudden it clicked, and I knew what the homeopathic remedy was, and I
What was
sent
it?
it to her overnight. Opium. It's wild. No actual opium, just the energy signature of opium, but it was frozen shoulder, and what happens when you're on opiates, right? Like, you're frozen, like, you don't feel
Yeah,
you're numb or whatever, right?
yeah.
Within, like, 1 or 2 doses, she got a horrible headache. Horrible, like, she
Okay.
was cursing me, and then
Okay.
the next day, it was gone, and she never needed surgery. Yep,
Whoa.
yep. 2 doses of the right
Mm,
remedy, and that's how homeopathy works. It's that amazing, like, and I could tell you
yeah,
countless stories of whatever that I've see day in and because now I've integrated homeopathy into my therapy practice, my coaching practice. I talk about it on
yeah.
my podcast all the time, like, I'm building a retail store, Destin
Right.
Homeopathics, like, I'm, like, all in on it, and
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think standalone that I think it pairs well with therapy or it pairs well with other things, like, it's a deeply
yeah,
emotional process because our mind and body is linked, and our griefs are what cause our right, our woundedness is what causes most of our physical illness.
yep.
That and glyphosate in our food source. There's that.
Mm.
But
There's
but
that.
but yeah, so that's why I'm so passionate, and then I feel like
Interesting.
if there's any chronic symptom, that's where we stop is when you are satisfied with the amount of chronic symptoms you are living with.
Yeah. I think I'm satisfied. I think I'm good. Yeah, it's hard. I think that, like, for me, I was told it was not frozen shoulder. I will say that because and maybe you could put some light on this. I was told that I wouldn't even be able to move my arm and do everything if it was frozen shoulder. I have
Okay.
no issues. All
Yeah.
rotation,
Okay.
everything is
Mhm.
good.
Mhm.
The pain is significant at night as I go into the
Mm.
evening. Anytime
Mhm.
I'm sitting, I'm sedentary, it starts, I can feel it. And then I'm like, oh, like to
Mhm.
lift it. And
Mhm.
then, uh, maybe a month and a half ago, I had gone through a thing with physical therapy and they had me do the wrong exercise and put a
Mhm.
10-pound weight in my hand
Mhm.
instead of
And then
a
it
resistant
inflamed
band
it.
and had
It inflamed it.
it flamed.
Yeah.
I'd never been in such excruciating pain
Yeah.
and nothing worked.
Yeah.
But that has subsided, but I still have, I'm back to what they called, it's supraspinatus tendonitis. I don't think I have that right, but it's a
Yeah,
form of tendonitis.
so I already know which 2 remedies I want to use with you, right? But
Hmm.
I think I mentioned this the other day when we talked about it, that shoulder goes back to us feeling guilt or,
Mhm.
insecurity around being a good mother or daughter or wife or whatever,
Mhm.
right? It's about the roles we wear in our most intimate relationships. And so
Oh, how
mm,
does that link to the shoulder? Like,
it's
what's
like the
the
weight of the world on our shoulders, like, literally, like,
oh,
And so have you ever heard of Louise Hay? She was like someone who said you can heal your life, and she has these books of affirmations, and she did EFT. She was
Mhm.
way ahead of her time. And she
Okay.
really taught us cuz she died in her 80s like a few years ago. So she was
Oh,
teaching us about affirmations and the mind body connection like
yeah.
60 years ago. It was like a
Years ago.
big freaking
Huh.
deal, and she suffered a lot of, sexual abuse and horrible traumas in her life, but she started mapping the body. None of this is new information, it's ancient wisdom. And there are a lot of
Yeah.
MDs that have really caught on to this over the years and, like, sort of reawakened our ancient understandings of, like, cures like and the mind-body connection, and so, like, Bessel van der Kolk and, Gabor Mate, and they've mapped the body and how it links to various, like, neuroemotional issues in our body. Chiropractors, if you go to a chiropractor and you look at the list, they'll have like all these posters of spines in their
Mhm.
offices, right? And your
Mhm.
C spine versus your cardiothoracic spine versus your lumbar spine, it corresponds to various organs. And if we look at traditional Chinese medicine, we know the liver is associated with anger and the kidneys are associated with fear and the heart is associated with grief and all of that, right?
Mm.
So we just have come to understand that the shoulders are where we really carry our sort of identity of success or failure as it comes to being a mother or daughter. And we know you carry guilt about being a daughter and the kind of daughter that you are. And so the remedy
Yeah.
I would pick for you would actually target that and also overlap with
Mm.
shoulder pain. And then Bob is your ex-boyfriend and your shoulder
Mhm.
will release.
Please let it release. Let
Let
it
it release.
release.
But
Let it
this is
release.
the thing, and this is what I mean about people don't like to be fully honest with themselves, right? Because
Yeah.
what ends up happening when you take a remedy is, yes, your shoulder releases, but then also, like, you end up having to process all those
Mm.
old emotions. And so it's
Mm.
hard. And most of us don't wanna feel. Most of how we live in a modern world is we don't wanna feel our
Yeah.
shit, right? We just
Yeah.
really wanna numb it.
Kinda suppress
Yeah.
it, put it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put it on a shelf. Yep.
So when
Ugh.
you are ready,
Wow.
I will ship you your remedies.
We're getting there. We're
You
getting
can
closer.
feel
We're getting
your
closer.
feelings, and then when you feel your feelings, then your shoulder will say, "Thank you.
Can I can do it.
Thank you."
Hmm.
Mhm.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
But
Thank
there's,
you.
like, lots of cool like, you can like, there's just also so many cool remedies, like, for hot flashes and for,
Mm.
some of my favorite ones to play with, like like, all of this hot nonsense about, like, autism and Tylenol lately. So I felt
Yes.
so cool this week because I have glutathione in potency, and I have,
Okay.
brain-derived neurotropic factor in potency, all these things that are depleted by Tylenol, like, I've already been providing them for people homeopathically, or, like, I can provide
Oh.
homeopathic progesterone and estrogen and,
Oh.
homeopathic serotonin and, like, dopamine addiction. Oh, so there are all these super cool
Oh,
things, even if
wow.
people just wanna dabble in homeopathy, um,
Yeah.
that you can, yeah, access all these things.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is cool.
Oh my
Mhm.
god, you have so much knowledge. It's very humbling. I'm
It's
just like,
exhausting. It's
"Huh?" Wait.
exhausting.
It must be exhausting. It is. So it must be exhausting for you. Like, when I think about you when I think about you, John,
Yes.
with your clothes on.
With my clothes on. Clothing optional.
I mean, that's how I go with the podcast, wear what you want or wear nothing at all. So but I was thinking about you because and we're gonna touch base on this just briefly, we are starting a new podcast together, which I'm super excited about, yes, and when I was saying this to one of the other girls in the podcast, and I go, I love how we get way off track on there, right? We start giggling, we're talking about our legs wide open, and we're talking our hot fast confessions and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, Dawn hits us with something that is so freaking like,
Cerebral.
yeah, and it stops me in my tracks where I'm like, "Oh, shit, right, we're trying to teach people something here." Like, it reminds me of that,
Balance,
and
balance.
ah, I love the way your brain thinks. I wish I had an ounce of that. I just don't, but I love that I
I could
love that you do.
also tell you stories about my now husband being in jail, right? Like, I can swing both ways.
Yeah, you've done Speaking of no, just kidding. My favorite topic.
Uh,
Um, okay, before we touch on that, I wanna wind this up with some rapid fire questions for
okay.
you. Just it's just 8, they're fun. I may have to throw in a ninth one just based off
Okay,
of
okay,
something you've recently said.
okay.
And I just want you to answer they're supposed to be rapid fire, but you can give a little answer to it or whatever. All right, number 1, Easy. Coffee, tea, or green juice to start your day?
Coffee. I went through my green juice
Coffee.
phase. I'm done with fucking green juice. See? Done. Done. It's coffee.
See?
Give me all the
Done.
coffee. Yeah.
Okay. All right. She knows when enough is enough. Amazing. Number 2, what's one self-care ritual you actually stick to as often as possible?
A lot of them.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Should
Yeah,
have
no,
thought this question through better. Know
yeah,
your audience. Know your
I
audience.
think consistency yeah, like, I go to the chiropractor every week, like,
Do
fitness,
you?
like,
I've
heavy
never been to a chiropractor.
yeah, every
I'm
week.
scared.
Your nervous system like, it's just yeah. Lifting heavy, hot showers are my favorite, but, like, sauna,
Yeah.
detox
Yeah.
pathways, eating pretty healthy, but, like, duck donuts and all that, like,
Duck
whatever. Like,
donuts.
I eat pretty
And
balanced,
you're
but, like yeah.
and you're lifting weights to get your ass.
That's right,
Right?
because I had a flat
That's
ass,
right.
and I only
Yeah.
lift heavy 1 day a week, so I don't do a crap
Okay.
load of it, but, like, I'm non-negotiable about muscle mass because in menopause
Yeah.
right, that's what's gonna
Uh-huh.
like, as muscled as you are is going to inform how you weather menopause, and so future me
Ooh.
and then our
Yeah.
muscle mass declines by a certain percentage every decade of life, and so future me needs me to be lifting heavy now, so
What's your heaviest weight?
I don't even know, but I will tell you the thing I'm most proud of is pull-ups,
Mm.
chin-ups, right? Because I went in
I
and I
can't do
couldn't
one.
do one. Yeah, I went in and I couldn't do one, and my trainer is such a talented, talented woman because I only lift once a week, and so
Okay.
within a year, I could do 2 chin-ups, and recently I was able
Okay.
to hit 4 neutral grip, so
That's
not like
amazing.
it
Yeah.
but like
It is a
that
very
was
hard
my
thing to do.
goal, and it feels very, very empowering to me to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's a new goal for me. All right. If Menopause were a movie, what would the title be?
Ooh, I'm gonna need a minute, and you can edit it out.
Okay. Do, 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 do.
I'm gonna steal this answer from a pretty well-known book about mental illness.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
but
actually a book written to help people understand how to cope with people in their life that have borderline personality disorder. So so there's that, or like a disorganized attachment style. I hate you, don't
Uh-huh.
leave me.
Oh.
I hate you, don't leave me.
Oh,
It's good, right?
I love that.
It's good. I hate
That's
you,
a
don't
great
leave me.
one.
Mhm.
This sounds like a podcast title for a certain podcast we're doing soon, right? All right, number 4, quick mood reset. Are you gonna dance it out, deep breath, or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
I
Boom.
have some here, like, I keep a stack
She's like, "It's right here." Ooh,
right here.
yum,
Yeah,
yum.
yeah.
Right here.
But, like,
Number
high like, it's 85 like, it's very dark because again, low sugar,
Yeah,
like, yeah. Mhm,
yeah, it's not
mhm.
real chocolate, folks. Don't get excited.
But some of my
It's
favorites,
not
like,
the good chocolate.
I hum a lot, hot shower,
Uh-huh.
Dance It Out is a good choice, right? With yacht rock, like,
Yeah.
yacht rock has been my go-to playlist lately, so, like, yeah, Dance
Yeah?
It Out with yacht rock,
Yacht rock. I haven't heard that
chocolate.
one.
Mhm.
Alright.
Yeah, it's
Alright.
like, have you ever watched Guardians of the Galaxy? Surely, like, all that great
Yeah.
music from that soundtrack, like, all the, like,
Oh, yeah.
70s and 80s, like, great,
Oh,
just
yeah.
yeah, it's
I
like a
love the
vibe. It's
older
like
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all that.
I like the '90s stuff. It's good. It's
Yeah.
good stuff. All right, favorite guilty pleasure TV show or movie?
Like, list one that is my go-to favorite guil
Yeah.
oh,
Like, I'm on a Love
Bridgerton,
Island kick right now.
Bridgerton,
Oh,
Bridgerton. Mhm,
Bridgerton.
mhm.
All right, I like
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
All right, what's your go-to comfort food when life feels overwhelming?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Chocolate chip cookie my husband keeps buying chocolate chip cookies, and so I keep eating them. Like, different versions of
Yes.
chocolate, like, chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Just chocolate. It's good.
In all of its
One word
fairies.
that describe it's good. One word that describes how you want women to feel after working with you. One word.
Free.
Free. Oh, that's a good one.
Mm.
That's a good one.
Mhm.
And number 9, speaking of being free, have you ever swung both ways?
Not in, like, a way that's gonna feel as exciting to you as well
Oh,
like my girlfriend and I in
oh.
college, we would, like, make out for free drinks and, like
Isn't that
you
funny?
and I have
The things we do.
yeah, we've talked about porn a good bit. Like, there was a
Yeah,
while where if I were gonna watch porn, it would be, like, girl porn,
me too.
which I don't do anymore, but, like so, like,
Yeah.
I very much believe in sexual fluidity, and,
Yeah.
like, I could never really pull the trigger.
Yeah. I'm kinda the same. I could dabble, but I
Yeah, devil.
never could see me I can't see me walking down the street holding a girl's hand and
But
being
women
like,
are
"Hey,
so
babe."
sexy,
I just
you know? We're so
they
sexy.
are.
Yeah,
They are. I get it. I
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
I do. Oh my gosh, such good stuff. Thanks for answering my questions. I threw the extra little bomb in there at the end because it's
Yay.
just
Love a
being
bump.
nosy, like
Yeah.
to catch you
Mhm,
off guard.
mhm.
Yes. So we just need to tell everybody that Dawn and I are doing a new podcast together. We're going to let the cat out of the bag on
Oh
this
my
one.
goodness. Yeah.
Oh my God. And there's actually 6 of us in total. It
Mm.
is 6 such amazing, incredibly
Unbelievable.
smart
Yeah.
women. Yes,
Mhm.
and it is called the Menopause Love Lounge, and we are bringing it to you guys. Like, we are not holding back. We are talking about everything there is. We're
Everything.
giving our hot flash confessions. We've done Never Have I Ever.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
We are like, our segment is called Legs Wide Open. If that
Legs
tells
wide
you
open.
anything,
Boop.
legs wide
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
Because we want to be real and honest and sincere with you guys, and we want you to join us in the lounge and have conversations with us that nobody else is having
I
about the topic that is so
y
difficult.
yes, we are gonna change
Mhm.
how women experience menopause. Like, that
We
is our
are.
vision, right? Change how we experience
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
Yeah. Mhm.
I
It's
love it. I
and
love it.
it's so freaking funny, and, like, yes, we teach like, you know, we dabble in the information zone, but, like, it's
Yeah.
such a good time. Such a good time.
It's such a good time. It is a breath of fresh air. I look forward to it. We have become
Yes.
this
Girl gang.
friendship group,
Yeah,
girl gang that
yeah.
we didn't even see coming. I will say
No,
that. I don't think any of us saw that
yeah.
coming. I
But we
mean,
all
I
said in
get a lot.
hindsight, like, we had been manifesting this, right? Like, we had all been sort of,
Yes.
like, looking for it.
We
Yeah,
needed this.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
You
anyways, everybody
you
listening.
have created something unbelievable because 'cause you're the one that called us all in,
Mm,
right? Like, you
I
chose us,
did.
and,
I did.
such an honor and
Single-handedly.
such a life-changing thing for us, which means that it only can be life-changing for other people. Yeah.
That is done. You're so right. That's the only way I see it. When I think about it, I'm like, from where we've gone not too long ago to starting
Mm-mm,
this to where
mm-mm.
we are already now
And
and
it's just
how it's
all
changed the
clicked. It's just
dynamic.
all clicked.
It's
Yep,
all clicked.
yep.
And to show that you can have friend groups and find your people still later
At
in
any
life is
point. That's right.
another
Yep,
avenue. Yeah.
yep.
So it's awesome. It's called Menopause Love Lounge. It is airing on Wednesday, October 1st. Our first episode will be every
I
Wednesday.
know, I
And
just got
yeah,
chills.
I know. I know. It's happening. It's happening. We're so excited. The theme song is the bomb. We're
Yeah.
ready.
Mhm, mhm,
So good.
mhm.
So good. All right, Don, tell everybody where they can find you. They want to coach with you. They want to look you up. They want to
Yeah, yeah,
get some
yeah.
goods. What do you
So,
got?
my Instagram handle is at Don Wiggins. My website is mycoachdon.com, and my podcast is Dear Divorce Diary. Come check out the
Hmm.
pod. Yeah.
Check it out, you guys. It is so good. So good. So thank you for joining me. To you guys listening out there, thank you for listening. I hope you loved this conversation with Don as much as I did. It was so good, very informational,
It
and
was a
just
ride.
so, so good. It was right. For sure. You are quickly becoming one of my ride or dies. So I love that. All right, you guys, you can find me anywhere you get your podcast. You can find me on Instagram at from dot Mrs. dot the number 2 dot Ms. And you can email me any questions, suggestions, comments, anything you want to know, share your stories, talk to me to talk to Dawn. We can do that too.
We could
You
do it.
can email me we can do it at Andrea at from Mrs. the number 2 Ms.com. We'll see you guys next week. You have a great one. Bye.